Erica Ridley, and welcome to another historical romance unboxing. Today, we have a gift from Constance Hussey. Look how cute this stamp paper is. I love it. I love scrapbooking. It reminds me a little bit of that. Very, very cute. I can't wait to open it and see what's inside. Let's read. Chapter 1.
Sussex, England, 1809. They never did find her body. Mine, mine, mine. The sea's mocking litany beat in his head with each wave that crashed against the rocky shore below. Lord Halcombe settled his restless horse with a reassuring touch on his neck and allowed the animal to back away from the edge of the cliff. It was ill-judged stopping here today. Almost 2 years now, and he was no more reconciled to his wife's absence than he had been in those first months of disbelief. Halcombe shook his head, mouth tight to contain the shout of denial he wanted to throw at the sky boiling above, and turned Zeus toward the house perched on the hill behind him. He at least had enough sense not to have them both soaked and in lightning's path when the fast-building storm slammed ashore. Was that what had happened that day? The storm blowing up so quickly as to take her unaware, experienced sailor though she was? It ate at him, not knowing. Cliff Top. It was a surprisingly mundane name for his wife's childhood home, considering she had named his horse Zeus. But perhaps Frances had not chosen it. Perhaps the house already bore the name when she moved here. It was yet another thing Halcombe did not know, and that gnawed at him as well, the many things he had never learned about her. He did feel, however, that she would have been pleased to see the house as well kept now as it was before her father's death, something owed more to the careful ministrations of the steward than any effort on his part. The Earl rode up the winding path, thinking of the first time he had done so. The image of Frances was in his head, the picture of her as clear as on the day he first saw her, framed in the window as he walked up the front steps. So achingly young, her eyes wide with surprise at his sudden appearance. He learned later she had been deep in her studies, not expecting company, which explained the careless sweep of hair tumbling childlike around her face. He had been amused at the quick rounding of her lips and the sudden laughter in her eyes. "My lord?" The groom's hesitant voice drew him from the past. Halcombe dismounted and handed over the reins with an absent-minded nod. His steward, Thomas Blount, stood waiting for him on the wide porch. "I trust your journey was agreeable, my lord," Blount said in his grave voice. Halcombe smiled. Blount said the same thing every time he arrived here, and if the man ever smiled, Halcombe had yet to see it. "Mr. Blount, you are keeping well?" The steward nodded again, and, the ritual over, they entered the house. It smelt of beeswax and lemons, and was scrupulously clean, exactly as it was when Frances and her father, Lawrence Nesbit, had lived here. Halcombe cut off the memory of his visits here and said, more curtly than he had intended, "You take good care of this place, Blount, but it does no good for a building to sit empty. I am considering letting it out. The staff is welcome to stay on." "Of course, my lord. Have you someone in mind? Shall I make inquiries?" "Please do that. In the meantime, I want the contents of Mr. Nesbit's study boxed up and sent to Halcombe Manor, along with any personal belongings of Lady Halcombe's that remained here." "Certainly, sir. The work will begin at once." The Earl braced himself for the effort of walking into Nesbit's study.
Constance also sent 5 great bookmarks. We've got A Love Laid Bare, which matches the book we just saw here today, plus 4 more. Very cool. What a haul. Thanks, Constance. Thank you for watching Historical Romance Unboxing with Erica Ridley. More information about today's featured book can be found in the text accompanying this video, as well as on my website, ericaridley.com/unboxing. To win a signed copy of today's featured book, as well as an autographed romance from my Rogues to Riches series, just leave a comment on this video within 24 hours and you're entered to win. Keep reading and see you next time!